Oi, Igreja Presbiteriana da Gaia. I am the Reverend Jamie Washam, speaking to you here from the First Baptist Church in America here in Providence, Rhode Island. Thank you for sharing our sister, your sister, my sister with us in this last year with us here at Providence. It's been wonderful having her in church with us and just up the hill at Brown University. I sit here in the church founded by Roger Williams, the man who first instituted the separation of church and state in not only this part of the world, but in many places of the world. He was the first person to suggest that there was a way of organizing yourselves nationally that was separate from being a theocracy. So Roger Williams began that, and he began that by founding the state of Rhode Island and this church in 1636. And so I am the 37th pastor of this congregation, and we continue to stand for religious liberty, to be a place of shelter and refuge for what Roger Williams said, for persons distressed of conscience. We are different politically, we're different theologically, and that is challenging, and it's a blessing because we at this church believe that if we don't come together willingly in church with people that we disagree with and do so lovingly, we have very little chance of doing it in the broader world. And so each week on Sunday morning and throughout the week, we try to model that by living a little piece of heaven here on earth, and hopefully it rubs off throughout the course of the week. One of the wonderful things about this community is that we have members from all over the world: Brazil, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Korea. It's really a lovely mix of what I think, it's a little foretaste of what I think heaven is supposed to look like, because from what I understand, it's a mixed neighborhood. So we had better start living that way now. And it's always a really lovely surprise to see who comes through the doors on any given Sunday, because we really have no idea. People come and visit from all over the world. They're visiting scholars, and we get the blessing from being down the hill from Brown, and so we end up having students from Brown or from the Rhode Island School of Design come and be a part of our community for the time that they're here. And they enrich us with their presence and with their ways of thinking and believing and praying, and we're the better for it. Because we remember that we don't exist in isolation. The world is really small, and the more that we know about one another, the more that we can hopefully know about God and our place in the world and how we can be of love and of service. And we believe here that knowledge isn't something to be afraid of. As one of my professors in divinity school, John Shelby Spong, said, any God who has to be protected from the truth has already died. And so we're not afraid of shaking things up from time to time, and to ask what we really do believe and why we really believe that, and we aren't afraid to ask those questions, because if it begins to fall apart, well, then perhaps it should. But we continue to live in community, and we try to build one another up and build up this reign of God and build up this beloved community, both within these walls and far, far beyond them. And so part of that blessing is welcoming in people from all over the world, and then sending you back home and back around the world, and knowing that a little piece of us will be in Rio, and we're delighted for it. You always have a home back here. Well, my brothers and sisters in Christ, we haven't met yet, but I know that we will someday. And I look forward to that when we have this amazing day of Pentecost, when I can say more in Portuguese than tudo bem, tudo bom, obrigada, which is all I have, which isn't very elegant. But when we meet in paradise, we will be able to speak fluently in the language of love and in the Spirit. And I send you greetings and blessings and peace from your sister church here in Rhode Island. And come see us anytime here, and if not, we will meet on the other side when we are in the presence of God.